Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Rishi Harinan and C News is live at noon. Topping the news at this time, BP Trinidad and Tobago has announced its first gas from the Juniper development, the fifth of BP's 7 upstream major project startup planned for 2017. In a statement, the company said Juniper has begun production on schedule and under budget. It said the project is expected to boost BPTT's gas production capacity by an estimated 590 million standard cubic feet per day. With an investment of approximately $2 billion, Juniper is BP's first subsea field development in Trinidad. It produces gas from the Corralita and Lantana fields via the new Juniper platform, some 80 kilometers off the southeast coast of Trinidad in water approximately 110 meters deep. The gas then flows to the Mahogany B Hub via a new 10-kilometer flow line that was installed in 2016. Juniper is BPTT's 14th offshore platform in Trinidad and its 6th to be constructed at the fabrication yard in Labrie. Well, what does this mean for Trinidad and Tobago? Former Energy Minister Kevin Ramnarine shared his thoughts. Minister of Energy Kevin Ramnarine says this development will assist Trinidad and Tobago in getting out of the recession. It was noted in the IMF and ECLAC reports that this country would see growth in the fourth quarter of 2017. And with this development for BP, gross domestic product is expected to increase.
And that is all due because of one project. There are other projects which are smaller, but the Juniper project was a huge project in comparison to other projects. This is a big increment in natural gas production. When the project is at its maximum planned capacity, we're talking about a possible 18% increase in natural gas supply here for the country. That's a big step up.
He explained it's not going to solve the natural gas shortage, but it will help.
But it's going to help. It's going to help a lot with the natural gas shortage situation that we have. The shortage will persist, but Juniper is going to be a great help to reducing the level of shortage that we have in the country.
Mr. Ramnarine said this project has been 3 years in the making and gave a breakdown of what went into getting it operational.
It involves the drilling of 5 subsea wells. Tremendous logistical challenges were overcome. For example, the wellheads were flown into the country using the Russian-made Antonov aircraft, the world's largest aircraft, landed in Piaco to bring in those wellheads. The project used the Diamond Ocean Victory, a semi-submersible drilling rig. And it's taken 3 years, and I think it's a testament to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to the employees of BPTT.
He congratulated BP for another accomplishment in 2017, a company which employs mostly Trinidad and Tobago nationals. This is the C News Live report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com, or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at C News Live. Workers at the Tourism Development Company will begin to get retrenchment letters this week. This was confirmed by the President General of the Representing Communication Workers Union, Jolie Mohammed. He spoke with C News this morning and said on Friday the union met with officials from the TDC and Minister Stuart Young, and it was determined how to proceed.
It was also agreed that all severances and all the benefits, which will be gratuity, vacation, outstanding salaries for the month of July, all those things were addressed, and it's going to be dealt with within this period of the notice that is going to be issued.
About 111 workers are set to be affected by this. Mr. Mohammed said discussions will continue with the TDC to see how those affected can be employed when a new body to deal with tourism is created. He went on to explain the reason for agreeing to this decision.
We would agree that Tobago's tourism industry is different than one for Trinidad. If a company decides to wind up, close up, whatever, the law cannot prevent them from doing such. But we were saying from day one, that is the former executive and even this executive, you must engage the RMU before you take any decision. So that's what has been taking place and facilitated by the minister on Friday.
The Tobago Hoteliers and Tourism Association says Tobago is in a crisis situation as a result of what's taking place with the Sea Bridge. Its president, Chris James, said in 2015, hotel occupancy for July-August was about 54%. This year, things are looking worse at 30 to 31%.
We're already very much down on our international arrivals. Back in 2005, we had close to 88,000, and last year we had 19,000 international arrivals. So we started to grow very dependent on that Trinidad market. And for the first 6 months of this year, even though the international arrivals have stayed steady, for now, the forward bookings don't look good, but the domestic market is died on us.
Mr. James said so far hotels have lost about $25 million.
If you add in all of the other services, as I say, the car hire, the restaurants, all of those, it's a tremendous loss to business at a time we can't afford it. We're already reducing hours of staff, we're having trouble paying bills, and this is a real crisis for Tobago's tourism industry.
Well, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, the two Tobago MPs and several stakeholders are expected to meet in August on the 21st to discuss the Seabridge fiasco. 35-year-old Atiba Gorkin is at the Port of Spain Magistrates Court charged with manslaughter. He has been granted $75,000 bail. According to information from the police service, Gorkin was charged on Saturday night with the drowning death of his son, Josiah Messi Gorkin. The 3-year-old went missing at Williams Bay Chagaramas on July 16th and was discovered dead the next day. When Messi went missing at around 5 p.m. on July 16th, his family members initially feared he had been kidnapped. Shortly after 6 a.m. the following day, Messi's body was found floating in the waters of Pier 1. An autopsy conducted at the Forensic Science Center in St. James revealed the toddler died from drowning. His lungs were filled with water. Now for the weather, generally sunny conditions will be interrupted by few cloudy patches with light to moderate showers at times. There is the slight chance of thundershower activity towards the late afternoon, favoring southern areas of Trinidad. Tonight will be mostly clear and cool. Police have shot a 23-year-old man who is said to have breached a protection order. He is now in hospital on the police guard. CNews understands on Sunday, officers of the Southern Division responded to a report of domestic violence at a house at Guapo Point Fortin. The woman reportedly told police the man, who she has a protection order against, showed up at her friend's home where she was at the time. When police arrived, the man ran into some bushes and was chased by police. He allegedly turned on the officers before they shot him in the leg. He is expected to be charged with a criminal offense. Well, soon you can make an instant complaint to the Police Complaints Authority. Director of the PCA, David West, says a new app will soon be available and will enable investigating officers to be on the scene of any fracas immediately.
We're going to have on your phone a mobile app which anybody can download on your Android or Apple phone, and it will be free to the public. And you can, once you press the app, you can come into the camera or make a report, and you could video any incident happening, or you could make a voice note of any incident happening. And then you could also send your report directly to the PCA straight away. And what that allows us to do is bring officers on the scene. So if it's currently going on, and let's say it's a fracas or something happening, and if we get it early enough, we can then dispatch an investigation team to that area so we can get people with relevant information, and we could take the report from there.
A trial of the app is scheduled for September, and the launch could happen as soon as October. Mr. West says he is not aware of any other oversight body here or internationally using this technology. Now, the Deputy Director of the PCA, Michelle Solomon-Baksh, says on another note regarding new equipment, as far as the PCA is concerned, there are benefits as well as drawbacks with the new body cams for police.
I think there are pros and there are cons. I am more concerned about the use of the body cam and what's going to happen when we go to court. I think that the policy needs to be scrutinized when you're looking at it in terms of whether or not they're going to be able to be fully transparent as to the procedures that they've put in-house in relation to the use of the body cam footage. When they go to court, what is really going to be the use of that body cam footage? And is it that everyone is going to be mandated to use that footage when we're talking about sometimes very confidential searches or raids?
To some other news now. Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles says accountability is a lot more than just taking blame when something goes wrong. He was speaking at the opening of the 18th Biennial Conference of Presiding Officers and Clerks at the Magdalena Hotel in Tobago.
Accountability is not simply taking the blame. when something goes wrong. It is not a confession. Accountability is about delivering on a commitment. It's responsibility to an outcome, not just a set of tasks. It's taking initiative with thoughtful, strategic follow-through.
The 18th Biennial Conference of Presiding Officers and Clerks of the Caribbean, Americas and Atlantic Region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association will conclude on Thursday. Manager of BP Renegades, Michael Macano, believes in the potential of PAN to make changes in the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. He says all that is needed is for some serious thought to be put into it.
In this country, we still take the PAN as a hobby, and we don't look at it as another form of employment, for young people. Even though today we have people doing degrees in music and with using the PAN as an instrument, both at the UTT and EOE. So the thing is, what is in the future for them? What is the plan by the government, by PAN Trinidad, by the nation for these young people?
Musician Johan Chakri says, we have to learn to appreciate what we have and market it properly.
I think our problem in Trinidad and Tobago is a multifaceted problem. I think we have an issue with ownership, We need to respect what we have, because when we go outside, for example, when I go out and perform, the response, let's say, for example, in Europe, in Germany, in France, in England, the response is amazing. They are still wowed and still enthralled by the instrument. And, you don't get that response back home. You do have a lot of diehard Steelpan fans back home that love it and that love the music, especially when you play mainstream stuff, especially when you have concerts, especially when it's associated with soca. You have that fan base, but you don't have that support all the time.
The Trinidad and Tobago gold medal winning 4x400 relay team is expecting a party when they return with an early Independence Day gift. Shortly after being presented with the precious medal, the quartet spoke to the IAAF media.
The goal, actually. I really don't want to say I'm going for the goal. I like to go for top 3, because if you set your mind on one thing and you don't get it, then it's like you're letting yourself down. But yeah, I'm still in shock.
To bring gold to Trinidad and Tobago, having our independence coming up, I just want to say happy early independence to Trinidad and Tobago, and this medal for you all.
Trinidad is the party capital, so I know you celebrated back home for sure.
Well, in the TT Pro League, W Connection returned to their winning ways with a commanding 5-1 thrashing of St. Anne's Rangers to reclaim the lead over Club Sando, but only on goal difference as they both have 17 points. Club Sando took over the lead briefly when they edged Morva Caledonia to take over the lead from Northeast Stars, who slipped up against a resurgent Point Fortin Civic last time out. Here's Ruskin Mark.
Club Sando dominated this one and should have scored much earlier in the first half, but they had to wait until the 25th minute to finally break through, and it was worth the wait when this beauty flew in from Karen Cornwall, which proved to be the only goal of the game, handing Club Sando 3 invaluable points to climb to 17 and top spot on the table. In the latest installment of the Battle of Law Enforcers, police almost drew first blood when Kareem Freitas popped up and had his effort crash off the keeper and the post, but it stayed out. The Tetron boys would respond and cause the police defense some real anxiety before the final stab at goal sails high. But they would hit pay dirt soon after when they worked this one nicely into the part of Rian Moore, who finishes in style. He just opened up his hips and guided it home for 1-0 Army in the 27th. But less than 10 minutes later, police were back level when Kareem Perry unleashes this thunderbolt that flew past Andre Marchand in the 36th. And just before the break, they almost doubled up. Only this time, Marchand was alert to the danger, and it stayed 1-1 at the interval. But the lawmen would take their first lead of the match when Kareem Freitas slaps this one in on 58 minutes to leave the Tetron boys stunned. They were almost punished again, but once again, police let them off the hook. But like true soldiers, the Army would respond and came close on a couple of occasions, but still trailed in this one. Then they got a lifeline when the goal scorer Kareem Freitas picked up his second yellow card, prompting referee Rashby McPhee to act for apparent simulation. He had earlier been booked for time wasting. So it wasn't surprising when the Army equalized in the 83rd, Joan Baltazar coming off the bench to provide the spark and the crucial finish as the ball bounced nicely for him. Then they thought they had won it moments later when this one was headed in, but that celebration was short-lived as the referee's assistant was the killjoy with his raised flag for offsides, leaving this one to end in a 2-2 final score. Ruskin Mark, C Sports.
To some cricket now, and in a battle of the winless Guyana Amazon Warriors got off the mark in tense fashion, securing a 6-wicket win with a ball to spare, courtesy a rounded batting effort chasing a target of 153 against the St. Lucia Stars. They rode their luck behind 30s from Traduc Walton, Jason Mohammed and Gajanan Singh. The victory for the 2016 finalists gives them a boost leading into their home leg beginning on Thursday in Providence, while Stars remain without a win at the halfway point of the season. Tonight, the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders will take on the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain. Well, that's it for sport. Well, that brings us to the end of the C News Report at noon. I'm Rishi Harinanan. Have a good afternoon.